Okay, so this next section is about technology. So you can see we have our calculator up here on the screen. So the first thing that we're going to do is look at graphing and how you can possibly change the window. So I'm going to try to type everything in this kind of equation editor on the sides. Hopefully you can see it. So what we're going to try to do is graph the equation f of x equals 3x cubed minus 2x plus 1. So this is going to be our function, and we're going to attempt to change the window so that we can see it better. So first thing we're going to do is come over here to our calculator, turn it on. If you want to graph something, you go to y equals, and you can see you can graph up to 7 different functions all at once. So that's your y1, y2, etc. So first, I'm going to graph 3x cubed, so that would be 3x cubed, and then minus 2x plus 1. Then we're going to hit graph. So this is the picture that we get of the graph. What we're trying to do is maybe get the best possible graph that we can get. So let's say we change the window so that we want to kind of zoom in on this little portion right here. Now it is possible that someone could tell you the window that you want. So if you see that, it'll look something like this, a comma b, and then it'll have a times sign and then some other numbers. So it might say graph f of x on a certain window. So for example, let's say it said to graph f of x on the window about -4 to 3, and then -2 to 2. So if the problem said to graph our function f of x here on this window, what we want to do is come over to window, and this is the second button from the left. This first interval here, those are your x values. So I would clear this out and I would type in -4 as my lower bound for x, so that's your x min. Then for my upper bound I would type in 3. So x scale, that tells you how far apart you want each of these numbers. So we're going to keep that at 1. Typically you don't want to change that. And then the second interval tells you your y. So y is we want to go y min -2, and then the y max is going to be 2. So we'll hit graph again. So we can change our window to kind of maybe zoom in on this a little bit more. So let's see. If we just wanted to include this box, what would we do? We could maybe make it go from -2 in my x direction to 2. So let's do that first. So we'll do -2 to 2. And then what could I make my y's? How about 0 to 2? I think that might be a pretty good window. So I'm going to come down here to y's, so 0 to 2. So now you can see I've just kind of zoomed in using my window feature in order to get this graph. Now it is possible to use zoom. So zoom, I could zoom in or out. Let's say I want to zoom out, so I'll hit number 3. This cursor is saying where do I want my graph to be centered. So let's say I want the center of my graph to be there, hit enter. And now I've zoomed out a little bit and you can see that's where my center is. So playing with your window can kind of zoom in, zoom out, fix the window that you want. And whenever you're given an interval like this is always lowest x, lowest y, highest y. So that's how you read this.